Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to Unit Lost. I am Stylosa, and before we get into today's video, I just want to let you guys know there will be a new video on the channel later on today. It's going to be PUBG and it's going to be beautiful, so guys, check that out. And if you enjoy those kind of videos, then I will continue making different kinds of videos and it'll be awesome. But I'm also going to probably use my fancy camera that I've got a little bit more in just my standard videos as well, because I think it adds a little bit of extra impact. Anyway, let's get on to today's video. So, what we've got here is a post from Jeff on the forums, and of course this is Jeff Kaplan, the games director. We know who he is by now, ladies and gentlemen. So, this is on the subject of balance. Is the game balanced for pros? Is it balanced for casuals? And this is what Jeff says in response to a post from Unamfo. I think that's how you say that guy's name. I'm not really sure, I can't read. I've seen so many posts in these forums accusing us of both sides of the coin, that we only balance around casuals and that we only balance around pros. Both are tremendous oversimplifications of what our thought process is. We feel responsible for all aspects of the game, and when we talk about balance changes, we spend a lot of time discussing the ramifications at all levels of play. We're not blind to either side of the game, and we will continue to represent both as well. Some decisions will be targeted towards one group or another, but always with deep consideration for what that means to the other side. Now, you could argue that that's a very sort of PR answer. It doesn't really say anything, really. It doesn't say, yes, we balance around pros, or yes, we balance around casual players. Now, they have actually said in the past that they do, in fact, balance from the top down. So that would mean from the pro level, top 500, GM, and down. That's where they balance from. Because there are certain things in this game, if you were to do them, let's say, for example, if you, I don't know, give McCree like a self-heal, right? What that's going to do is make him pretty good at the lower levels of the game, where typically you won't really get as many support players. From what I've seen, lower levels of the game tend to just be 6 DPS. Bit ridiculous. Maybe there's a tank or maybe there's one healer, but the healer might not know what they're doing. And when I say low levels, I'm talking like bronze, silver, that kind of level, right? So if you gave McCree a self-heal, that would make him pretty strong, right? But then if you put him into the top level of the game, it means Soldier 76 basically wouldn't get used, because McCree would now have a lot of sustain. McCree would be arguably way too powerful, and we'd see him all the time. But the question is, they do this anyway with a lot of different heroes. So let's look at some examples. So what I've got here is I've listed down a couple of things that they've done in the past, right? And we can kind of break these down. So Roadhog, right? This is the main one. Hog has been absolutely obliterated. You can easily argue that is a casual-centric nerf, right? What they have done there is removed his ability to one-shot people and flank. Yes, he's a tank. Yes, I don't agree with him being able to just go around the side and one-shot people, but was it really that much of a problem at the highest level of the game? I'm not sure it was. That was more of a, hey, let's nerf Hog so he's not being used all of the time in competitive to annoy players, because it didn't feel great when Hog killed you. But of course, he was used sometimes in pro level games, and it was honestly interesting to watch Hog go on a little flank mission. It was great for the viewer, I thought, but obviously Blizzard decided it wasn't. There are other issues as well with this. Think about Doomfist, right? Now, we know Doomfist was in development in December last year. Early December, in fact, last year. And what that means is that and Orisa was also there as well. So if they've got Doomfist, if they've got Orisa, they know what those heroes are going to do. They know their kit, because by that point they basically had Doomfist kit down to a T. So they can then start balancing the existing heroes around those heroes. And I don't think it's exactly wrong of me to say that Orisa was a bit of an underwhelming launch for Blizz. So I think what they're doing is really trying to kick it out of the park with Doomfist. So if you nerf Hog, it means Hog cannot just instantly counter Doomfist, and Doomfist counters are not as like massively strong as Hog would have been. I mean, I still think Hog's pretty good against Doomfist, but he would have been able to pretty much one-shot Doomfist, which would have been, you know, really powerful, because if Doomfist dives in, Hog could just hook him and kill him. And in fact, you could say Hog could be used against dive comp as well. Like, this is old Hog I'm talking about, not the current version of Hog, because you never see him played, because, well, he's been nerfed into oblivion. So you can argue that, yeah, conspiracy theorist kind of tinfoil hat on your head and go, well, maybe they've nerfed Hog so Doomfist has more impact, because Orisa wasn't that much of an impact when she came out. I don't know. I mean, you could argue that. But then what about D.Va? D.Va was buffed quite significantly. They gave her a ton of armor, a ton of power. She had loads of survivability. She was totally ridiculous. They buffed the defense matrix as well. This was before that buff. And then what they did is they kind of reverted in a way the armor and health buff. So they switched the armor and health around. So she's got less armor now. So it means she's less durable. But they kept the defense matrix as it is. Now, the thing with D.Va is, if you talk to any pro gamer, I mean, literally any, I mean, remember, I'm part of the Overwatch World Cup team, so I'm talking to a lot of pros on a regular basis. They hate D.Va. even when they're asked to play D.Va, they're like, oh my god, I don't want to play D.Va, because it's so boring to them. Because all you do with D.Va is get into a position, press right mouse button, and use defense matrix, and it deletes all of the projectiles, right? They see that as not really being skillful. Now, I would argue, yeah, I really enjoy playing D.Va on ladder. I think it's great when you get in there, use defense matrix. It's about positioning and all of that. And a lot of you guys out there will love playing D.Va. She is a good hero, and I think she's got a fairly high skill cap. But when you look at the highest level of the game, they don't like it because they see it as you press one button and, well, then everything that all of the DPS guys are doing, or anything that requires what they would say is skill, is just getting removed or deleted. It doesn't feel great for those guys. So if you were to listen to those guys, and even, you know, I've said some comments about this because D.Va has annoyed me at some points, especially because I play a lot of Soldier, then you would nerf down her defense matrix. But then in the lower levels of the game, it's going to have an impact, and they're going to be like, well, actually, is this as good as it used to be? So it is difficult to balance, right, when you look at it from all different aspects. However, like I said, they have said they do balance from the top down. So what that means is they are more centric towards the higher level of the game. And what we've got to be aware of here, guys, is Overwatch League. Overwatch League is supposed to be the savior of esports. Now, if it's going to be that, we'll have to wait and see. There are 7 teams confirmed. They've paid a lot of money for these slots. There's a lot, like, I know from speaking to pros, there's not that much going on really in the pro scene. There's not like loads of scrims or tournaments or anything like that going on. There's literally nothing. The only thing we've got at the moment is the Overwatch World Cup, and that's not really a pro level thing. Yes, there are pros involved in it, but a lot of the teams there, the national teams, are made from various different kinds of pros from different teams put together, and then they're trying to work together. I mean, like the UK team, which I think is a very strong team. We have an absolutely awesome chance, but they're still new teams. Like, this is not like a pro level thing. They've not been trained together for, like, well, unless you're France, or I guess, no, I don't think South Korea have a full team. Yeah, unless you're France. I think Chinese Taipei have got a full team. Australia, Blank Esports had a full team. Those teams, yeah, you know, they are pro teams, whatever, that's good for them. But there's not that much going on. So you have to ask yourself, if they're really heavily pushing Overwatch League, which they are, right, they have to balance for that. Now, there is one of, I'm going to end the video at this, but there's one of 2 ways here that they either go, right? They're happy with dive comp. They're happy with the game how it is right now. There will always be, like, the pro gamers will always use the best heroes that they can. They will min-max and use the absolute best heroes. That's why a lot of the games are pretty much mirror matches with only a couple of changes here. Maybe you change your, I don't know, your D.Va for a Soldier or something like that, right? But essentially, it's the same 2 teams going against each other. They sort of smash together, and it's who outplays the other team. That's probably always going to happen. You could argue with other metas, like even the triple tank meta and stuff like that. There was a little bit of variation in that, although I would say that it wasn't as exciting as dive comp to watch. So again, they're trying to sort of, I think, facilitate that for Overwatch League. But guys, I'm going to end the video at this. Do you think Blizzard balance for casual or the pro scene? And what do you think they should do? Is Overwatch even an esport? This is another question. I think it's a great game to play, but does every game have to be an esport? I don't know. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been Stylosa, and this is Unit Lost. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed the face cam as well. If you did, let me know in the that was my hat. In the comments below, because I will keep using more of this if you guys want to see it. I think it just adds a little bit more spice to these videos as well. And like I said, there is going to be a PUBG video on the channel later on tonight, so watch out for that. It is possibly the start of new content, so make sure you check it out and leave your comments below and all of that good stuff on that video, because if it gets positive reaction, then we'll do more of that stuff. Alright guys, I'll catch you on the next one. I've been Stylosa. This is Unit Lost. You can follow me on Twitter, which is @UnitLostGaming. Join the Discord, which is discord.gg/UnitLost, and I'll catch you on the next one. Toodaloo.